Hey guys, it's Jason from Team Ignis Vanguard. I just wanted to talk really quick about Bermuda Triangle and the state of the meta right now, at least in the English game, and why I'm like big worried about the Japanese cards that are in the Japanese meta coming over here, because I'm a Great Nature player, so oof, that's just gonna hurty. So this is a Force Clan, obviously, and the new trial deck just dropped, and I know people who have said with all seriousness that they would have taken this deck to regionals, to BCS. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I can see that, especially with the element of surprise, but even without it, it's like oofies. So like basically what it does is, this is the first Bermuda support we've gotten in English, and it's broken as Bermudas normally are. I mean, like, I think in premium it's fine. Like, there's that Ange deck that tops, occasionally, but it's never like, oh, Ange got 10 out of 16 of those top spots in a tournament, which isn't the case with this trial deck, but with the wider Bermuda support, that happened, as most of you probably know. So I just want to go through what I like about this trial deck, but then talk a little bit about the state of the meta, why I'm a little bit worried. So this trial deck is based all around this card, as well as its combination with this card here, and I feel like, so what their skills are, let me talk about that real quick, and then I'll explain why I think it's kind of like this deck. Especially if you're a new player, this is $15 for this, so, pick it up and you can maybe win some tournaments actually with this. But anyway, so this, whenever unit's called, just once per turn, she gets plus 5k. So if you call the unit, she gets plus 5k. So that's good. It turns her from a 13k to an 18k base. And then Counterblast 1, if you have 5 more rear guards, she gets plus 15. And until the end of turn, if the 5 or more thing is so you can draw a card if you have 5 or more. It's just basically CB1 to get plus 15k. If you have 5 units on your field, you get to draw a card. So it's like, why that's good, why you might not think that that's, broken or anything. And this deck isn't broken. It's just, I would honestly maybe put it in high C, low B tier in standard. Just because, imagine calling out one of her, you ride her, so you get a force, and then you call this unit, who, by the way, can be called your grade 1 turn, so you could tentatively get a grade 3 on your rear guard, like, first turn, so ouch. So you call her, and let's just say you get any other rear guard. I mean, CB1, draw a card. CB1, Soul Blast 1, if you called another card, you can call another card. So then you just, you keep comboing it, and, let's just say eventually you get 5. What your goal is in this deck, for this trial deck, is to have some combination of this on the Vanguard, calling out cards with this, because it's only one on place, and then having, like, maybe a force or two with these 2 cards on it, bro. I swear, this combo wins games. Like, she gets plus 15 when she attacks the Vanguard if you have 5 more rear guards. So if this back row is filled up, which it's Bermuda, so it will be, you're swinging 38, she'll get power, plus a bunch. I mean, she gets plus 20 if you do her ability right, 5k if you place a rear guard in the same turn, 15 if you counterblast 1, oof. So she's at 33, which is like, yeah. And this deck is actually competitive to a lot of the main decks right now. I've played, people with this deck, and I've, like, destroyed them, and then sometimes you don't hit your conditions, and it's still a good game, but you might end up losing. But it's so good. So this is, I just wanted to talk about it real quick, in the state of the meta in general as well, because this deck is good, but I don't, there's enough videos on it right now, the trial deck, now that it's out in English, that I feel like I wouldn't be adding to the conversation. But what I do want to add here is that I feel like the standard meta, like, people are complaining about it, and it is, too broken that 10 of these decks won it in Indonesia. But I do want to just talk about why I think this is actually healthy for the meta of this game. And I think that, it's predicated on the thesis that, standard will eventually replace premium. I mean, because premium is around so that people can have their old cards, and it's more complex. And there's grade 4s and striding, and people like that era. And, so that's why premium is around. It's a little bit more complex at the moment. There's more power creep, so there's a lot of stuff you can do. And premium is balancing out a little bit. So there's more and more tops from decks that aren't, like, OTT Gize, Ange, Luard, whatever, Link Joker. So I think this is healthy because in Standard we needed a little bit of a power creep. because Great Nature is good, very good. Zanbaku, Zangeki, Shiryuki, very good. I would put those in both the A tier. And then this Bermuda deck that comes out is an S for sure. But why I feel like this is good is because it's gonna hurt for a little while. That guy at your card shop who spends like $600 on his Bermuda Triangle idle deck and like memorize the Japanese phrase for like those people, and they're gonna be getting the first laugh for a little while. But I feel like honestly we'll get the last laugh here, because we that play other clans, because I hope that they support other clans in the way that they supported this clan, and they keep doing that so that we get fun, interesting combos. And in a couple of years time we'll have a deep card pool in Standard that we can draw from, like the people in Premium have. And then we don't have to have this weird system where there's 2 games anymore. We can just have Vanguard, and it doesn't have to be called Standard anymore. You can still play with your old decks for fun, but the tournaments, like when I went to BCS Atlanta, Premium still had a good turnout, which is good because it's good for the health of the game, but way smaller than Standard. I mean, there were like 700 people there for Standard, so big good. So I just wanted to talk about that. This isn't my normal style of video. I just wanted to try it out and see if I could maybe get my opinions out on the meta, why I actually think that this is good for the meta as in the long run, because I feel like Standard has been for too long call things rush. I mean, all the starters have the same skill. The only triggers with abilities are draw PGs, which is a good addition. I don't want to knock that, but I think it's time we start seeing some like new interesting abilities that we can combo a little bit more with and have some fun. I think I love Great Nature, but I will acknowledge that in its current state, it's like ride into Hamsuke, get 2 free Accel circles, rush the rest of the game. Just rush, and you'll either win in 3 turns or you'll deck out. And that's how every game goes. And so it's like, oof. We want to see more power creep in a sense, because it's, low. Power creep is a bad thing for the game in the long term, but for right now, I think this is a good plan. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you listening to my opinions on it.